Please welcome to the stage a good friend of mine whose name I do know, Ben Alvord. Where are you? Where's Ben? There you are. Oh, yeah. How you doing? All right.
It's 2 years before my wife Lisa and I first meet. She has a mouse problem that her landlord is doing nothing to resolve. So she goes to a cat shelter and she says to them, "I have a whole bunch of mice that I need murdered. Do you have any cats that would be into that?" And they do. He's an alley cat. He's slim and wiry with long tufts of white and orange hair. Instead of meowing normally, he makes a noise like a pissed off duck quacking. She falls for him immediately. She names him Cat with a capital C after Audrey Hepburn's cat in Breakfast at Tiffany's. And Cat is as advertised with the mice. He sits in front of her kitchen stove for hours on end, silent and motionless. And when the next mouse emerges, he plays his favorite game with them. It's a game called Death. He always wins. He is a mouse assassin. 6 months after Lisa and I start dating, on her way to work one morning, she comes across a stray cat. It's July, 95 degrees, so humid it feels like the air is trying to drown her. This cat is scrawny and white and too young, and he's so still that at first she thinks he's dead. She drops flower petals on him to see if he'll react, and he bats them away weakly. We try to help this cat for the next couple of weeks, feeding him when we can find him, but he's growing weaker by the day. He develops this nasty eye infection. It's dripping pus. And so we take him to the SPCA, and they tell us if we leave him there, he'll be euthanized within a week. So I decide that I have a cat now. So my first pet, I name him Eppa. 2 years pass. Lisa and I decide to move in together. In the time that's passed, Eppa has become a master of both cuddling and being fat. Cat is still living life as a feline ninja. So we're both afraid that once the two cats live together, the cat will beat the crap out of Eppa. So we follow the recommended procedure for introducing two grown cats to each other. First, you keep them completely separate. Then you let them see each other through a door held open just a crack. Then you let them meet for real on neutral ground, ready to separate them at the first sign of conflict. We do this after 3 weeks in the new apartment, and the cats stand a foot apart, eyeballing each other. They both start making the low, guttural noise, which I learned later is feline for, "I am going to fuck you up." Cat swats Eppa. Eppa chases Cat across the apartment and bites him square on the ass. We begin a new process. This one involves feline Prozac, an animal behaviorist, the construction of a 6-foot-tall wire mesh fence that bisects our apartment to keep the cats separate. We come home after a dinner out one evening and find both cats on one side of the fence. There's tufts of bloody hair scattered across the floor like some sort of barbershop gone wrong. Apparently, fat cats can jump over 6-foot fences. So we return to keeping the cats completely separate behind closed doors. We rotate them once a day so that they can take turns sleeping in our bedroom with us. This becomes routine. Months pass. We try not to think about the fact that this separation might be necessary for 10, 15 more years. A year later, Lisa picks Cat up and he scratches her. Unprovoked, it's not like him. She drops him back to the floor and he starts howling in pain. Can't put any weight down on his right front paw. She thinks he's broken his leg. At the animal hospital, we learn it's worse than that. The pain in his leg is from a blood clot, and the blood clot is from congestive heart failure. He got lucky, actually. The blood clots can actually permanently paralyze a cat's leg. And his leg's not paralyzed, but his heart failure, it can't be cured. It can just be slowed down with medication. It's medication that we have to squirt into his mouth with a syringe every day. And so our lives devolve into this sort of daily misery where I wake up and I find Cat and I scruff him and I drag him out from behind wherever he's hiding. and I pin him to the floor with my body weight so that Lisa can pry his mouth open and get the medicine in. But he hates the medicine, and more than that, he hates how I pin him to the floor, how I dominate him. Pretty soon he hates me, but that's okay because he never hates Lisa, and that's all that I care about. So a few months later, sorry, I didn't think I was going to get all. A few months later, we wake up to find Cat limping again. It's worse this time. He's actually dragging his right hind leg. Lisa insists on taking him to the animal hospital alone. She calls me later, and he has another blood clot. His leg's paralyzed. And it could get better with IV medication, but they wouldn't know for 2 or 3 days. They're not sure if it would even work. And he's miserable in the animal hospital. The dog's barking and howling, and Lisa not there with him. And even if it gets better, he's going to have to take this medicine forever that he hates, and I'm going to have to pin him to the floor. And Lisa tells me she's decided it's time to let him go. And so she sits with him and pets his head as they do it. And I don't know if I'd be strong enough to do that. I think I would, but I don't know. So we lost Cat 3 years ago. We've been renovating a condo since then for the last couple of years, and I wish we'd had to plan that renovation around these 2 cats that just couldn't get along. I wish that when we had visitors, they'd say, hey, why'd you put a door here? And we could tell them about our 2 cats that hated each other, but that we didn't care because we loved them. And it didn't matter if the cats had to be separate from each other, if they didn't have to be separate from us. And I wish I didn't still miss him. Thank you.
Yeah.